Pivot is when a company has to make a strategic move.
And we pivoted.
Pivot.
When we discover that our experiments have stopped being productive, let us pivot to a new fundamental strategy that could allow us to do better experiments. That's what a pivot is.
So when did you face that tough decision and realize that you had to pivot, and what did you do next?
Do we want Zappos to be about shoes, or do we want Zappos to be about customer experience? We decided we really wanted Zappos to stand for the very best customer service and customer experience.
We realized the check-in part was a little too complicated, but people loved the photo part. We threw out everything that wasn't working and kept what worked, and that was the photos part.
So the unique innovation that we've had is going from big movements to small little issues. That's a fundamental shift.
How about that word pivot?
Pivoting, a massively overused word.
Pivot is misused a lot. I see a pivot as you have some vision for your company, you have some main direction, but for some reason you're 10 degrees off course.
Everybody talks about pivoting, somewhat of a glory badge, right? We evolve.
Every day, every week, every quarter.
Is it the right timing? Do you have everything in place?
Are you making that progress along the way? And as you're going down that path,
can you actually get there? And if not, then you need to think about a pivot.
You've got to be willing to pivot. You've got to be willing to make changes and tack left, tack right as necessary. Companies are starting to understand, okay, I need to pay attention to what's happening in the social sphere.
How is it to abandon everything you've built?
For the second pivot, a little more painful, to look at the thing you just worked on for the last 4 months, decide once again you just hadn't done a good job. We're 9 months in, it's 3 a.m. still, and we're still building shitty products. So what are we doing wrong?
The vision was to provide software hit hard times very, very early in the process. We didn't have our first profitable quarter for, something like 5 or 6 years after that. What sustained us through all this is the company was founded on a very deep sense of purpose. Everyone believed here, even in the super hard times when there wasn't enough money to pay people, that there was a unique and special opportunity.
We want to, we could pivot, but then we will more than likely end up in a legal battle that we are not well equipped to handle.
You guys might just be better off shutting down and then coming back and be like, oh, we had this great idea.
Pivots suck. They are an admission of failure. And every time I've had to do a pivot, I have lost key members of the team, particularly when you know that you're the one that screwed up. And face your team, it's just a humbling moment.
What was the outcome?
Took a moment of panic, which was running out of time, running out of funding, running out of confidence, and turned it into a moment of inspiration.
Suddenly be talking about inventing the company is just crazy, and senior management sort of had to be dragged along kicking and screaming.
If it's not going to work and you raised a lot of money, you've got to sit down with the investors and tell them what you're thinking.
Once we decided we were going to make the change, the risk was we could have lost all of our customers the minute we made the decision.
So should testing the concept be part of the original business plan?
Work backwards from what am I trying to learn to how quickly can I run that experiment. And by reconceptualizing our work as experimentation, we open up this new question, which is, instead of how do I build the best product, how do I build the best experiment?
One of the ways that we think about innovation is kind of the bullets, then cannonballs theory, which is really to say you're never really going to know what's going to stick, what's going to resonate with customers, what's going to be that inflection point that takes it to the next level. So it's important to be trying new things and don't be afraid to change.
We're big picture people. We either want to fail big or move back home with mom and dad, I guess. Move in with you, perhaps.
Whether they're a startup or whether they're an artist, listen to your community, listen to your customers, listen to your fans. It's their idea that are going to lead to innovation.